Good afternoon and welcome into Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Happy first Friday to all of you. Bo Bishop gallivanting around the Ponderosa. No Siciliano today. He must be gallivanting around the beach. I know he had dinner with Agent to the Stars Andy Sims yesterday, which is glorious. I'm here. Gibbe's here. Young Gabriel's here. Dr. J is here. Coming up on the show as well, we are going to hear from Jake Trotter talking Browns training camp, the rookies, everything in between. That's at 3:30 for you. We've got those tight end rankings, which I will try to do my best to guess. We've got Andrew Siciliano with Denzel Boston from the best podcast available. So we've got lots of things, a little mailbag as well, all coming your way here today. But we'll start with our hot topics of the day presented by University Hospitals, the official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. All right, want to start with this. Young Gabriel, Dr. J, do either of you guys watch Marvel movies?
Yeah.
Are you big into the Marvel universe?
Less so now, but I have been into it before. I don't think I've watched one since like Shang-Chi maybe. So it's been a long time.
Oh, so it's been a while. What about same for Dr. J? So nobody's seen Captain America, the new one? Has he seen the new Captain America?
No, they're talking about Captain Marvel.
No, like the new Captain America. Like
Harrison Ford, Anthony Mackie's Harrison Ford's in it.
Red Hulk and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw that one?
Yeah.
All right, so Bryce and I watched this one last night because he's getting excited, obviously, because Doomsday is coming, I guess, in December. Mm-hmm. I don't understand the point of that movie.
It didn't make no sense.
It had no plot other than maybe
nothing.
to introduce adamantium to the whole deal, which is what Wolverine's claws are made out of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't.
It felt like a nothing burger, to be quite honest.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but at the end I was just kind of like.
Yeah. I also enjoyed the Red Hulk, too. I thought that was a good sprinkle in there.
Yeah,
I'm
Harrison
like,
Ford
Red
turning into a Hulk and destroying the White House was
Right.
That was pretty wild. Okay, good. I'm glad you felt that. Me and Bryce were kind of like, okay, but what was the point? Maybe to introduce the guy who could do some mind control and adamantium. That's it. I feel like I just introduced those concepts in 5 seconds and did not a 2-hour film.
And you could do that in a Doomsday film.
You could have done that as well. Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. So we started with that. I can tell you this. There's a little bit of a buzz here. This is my first day, obviously, back in the building. Young Luca, our miracle baby, who is having that ad run well into his second year on planet Earth.
I mean, we did just welcome him.
We did. He's worthy of a multi-year welcome. He had a little hand, foot, and mouth, which none of my older kids did not have. I got, as you see on today, we've got the Gamecocks on today. Arden is down for her orientation.
Oh, down in Columbia.
Down in Columbia. And then we move her in, believe it or not, in 15 days.
Ugh.
Yeah. If you rush, and she's going to rush, it's, I think, like 10 days early or something like that at South Carolina. So I am very sad. I've wept quite a bit. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to this at all. You said you watched the Open Championship, Gibbe. There were back-to-back. There's an ad that is a Titleist ad about his dad and his daughter playing golf, and then he leaves her like voicemail about how much it meant to him. Bawling. I'm almost going to cry right now thinking about it. And then there was an ad that had that song, Somewhere Only We Know, where the guy like grows up his whole like life with his kid or whatever. I'm just like bawling. I'm like, these ads are killing me. It was funny. I was in with B. Lynch, our cornerback coach today, and we were talking about Arden going down to college, and he's like, "Have you cried yet?" I'm like, "Yeah, I cry every time I'm with her. Every meal of food, every ad that comes on TV. I'm a mess."
It is only going to get worse
Yes.
over the next couple weeks. Once she's there, different story, and you're good. But everything leading up, like
The final dinner.
dude, it's the final week. Like you wake up in the morning and she's there, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
hey.
I'm reminded of the words of Jeffrey Lebowski, the millionaire, who said, "Strong men also cry."
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, B. Lynch and I have gone back and forth. Now you're joining the group here with the daughters in college.
I know. Don't I know it?
Oof. Going Russian, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Sorority at South Carolina.
Yep. I was in Greek life at Emory, but Emory was a much smaller
My
school.
daughter is currently the president of Delta Gamma in
Okay.
Akron.
I was
So
the president of Sigma Chi, the Beta Chi chapter at Emory University, my junior year.
There you go.
There are some luminaries in this building that were the SIGs as well. I've gripped one of them once.
Excuse me?
The grip, the secret handshake, dude.
Got it.
You got to grip them
Got
up.
it.
Let them know.
Just clarifying.
Yeah.
No meetings.
No meetings. No, that's what it means.
Then you're
It's
gone for a couple days.
That's what it's called. The special handshake. Did anybody in there? Did any of you guys do Greek?
Oh, Dr. J. Dr. J's big time.
Is he?
Yeah.
Dr. J, what fraternity?
Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out
Alpha
to
Phi
Mike, shout out
Alpha.
to
Yeah,
Derek.
we had that at Emory.
Yes, sir. Yes,
We
sir.
had Alpha Phi Alpha and Omega Psi Phi.
Yep, I can see that being true.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start with the first and the last, I guess.
Is there one that's colors? Because if I'm Alpha Alpha's black and gold, and Omega Psi Phi is purple, that's like Shaq was. Like,
Yep.
And then is there a red and white?
Yep, that would be your Kappas.
Okay,
Yep.
so we had that.
Okay.
Kappa Psi Phi.
Nah, Kappa Alpha Psi.
Kappa Alpha Psi.
Yeah,
Okay,
yep.
yeah. Then we had that was what we had at Emory.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Arden's Russian, which is going to be. Here we go.
Enjoy paying those dues.
Here we go. I loved my experience at Emory, though. Again, very small school. Like that was kind of the central of social life. It wasn't like at a much bigger school where it's not as, I guess, important. It was.
We
very
made up
fun.
our own fraternity at Bowling Green. They almost threatened to kick us off of campus.
Well, what would you guys call yourselves?
I don't even know what it was, but we had we were living off campus, and we literally had a banner like, if you want to rush. They were like, this is not legal.
You're not sanctioned.
Yeah. Well, we sanctioned ourselves.
Yeah.
It was frowned upon in the estate.
Were you guys able to participate in like the sports and stuff as your
No.
entity?
We were forced relatively quickly to
Drop
disband.
it. Yeah, to drop.
Which was fine. We still did our own thing and just did it under the radar. And
Sure.
We did the toga party. We did everything.
So I am aware of people of a certain age, around my age, perhaps. A lot of young, smiling faces walking through the building. People around my
We'll
age.
see what they look like in 3 weeks after a couple weeks of training camp.
At a nice high school in the region who started while in high school their own mixed gender fraternity that they called Tappa Kega.
I like that.
And somehow this seemed to be condoned by a great many of the people and their parents that I know, which kudos to them. If that was trying to happen under my father's watch in high school at Moreau Catholic in the Bay Area, that would have been summarily shut down with police involvement.
Total sidebar. We good?
We're good. Thank you. Yes. thank you for
Are we
asking.
good?
We are
I
good.
didn't hear back, and I'm assuming we're good.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for asking. No, we are good. So my dad sent me, I don't know how you guys are with this, but this has been for me like my whole life. If somebody, and it obviously started with my parents, but if somebody says to me at any point, hey, we need to talk, red flag. Like, I'm terrified by whatever's coming next. Like, there's never been, at least in my experience, and I don't know if anybody's listening has ever had an experience that's different than that, but hey, we need to talk, that was followed by something like awesome.
No.
It's always bad. Always bad. So my dad texted me in the show, as I said on air, hey, we need to talk. And then I wrote back, is everything okay? He took a little while, finally said yes. He had gone to the skin doctor and had to have something removed that he wanted me to know about, that it was cancerous, but it was the good, if you have to have it, it was the good kind, whatever that means. It was not melanoma. It was whatever else it was, and so he got it taken care of, and it's good. So
Good.
that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted me to know, and that he's not able to play golf for a while. Basal cell sarcoma, or carcinoma. That's what it is. So again, says it's nothing to worry about. Long term, all of that. So that's what it was.
We'll see him here this fall on scholarship.
In August, he's coming for a preseason game. He's coming for the Bills preseason game.
What?
You may know, or you may not know. You may know that we play the Ravens of Baltimore on October the 18th, which is his birthday. I'm like, why don't you come in
Makes
for
sense.
that? I don't want to. Come in August. I'm like, yeah, but if you're going to come in the summer, come before that so you can come while Art Andrea's still here. And he settled on August 21st. Art Andrea will not be here.
Number one, like, does he understand we're all a little busy at that time?
Yeah, we can't even have guess the
It's not
scores
a
on a
normal
Friday.
in-season week. Like, it is. We got a joint practice on Thursday. We got game Saturday, and then a quick turnaround game 5 days later.
That's right.
Shows. Why do you want to go see a preseason game? Like, I think it's great. Like, my son-in-law and my daughter are taking the grandbaby, I think, for his first time, and it's awesome for family.
Perfect for that.
I give my tickets to people that normally wouldn't go because it's a great time. But, like, for him, what's the positive from it?
Some reason he decided that was the weekend. I don't know.
There's got to be something behind this.
Who knows? I said, why don't you come in the summer so you can see Arden, and then come again on your birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he's got.
Bro.
So he's one. I think he's trying to get in here when he knows the Hoff will be in town. He's trying to finagle some Hoff beef.
The Wagyu.
Yeah, the Wagyu, exactly. I think that's what he's looking to do. Yeah, by the way, last night, as just another quick aside, last night I made homemade Indian food.
Ooh, what'd you make?
Which was awesome. So I made, it's kind of an amalgamation of a couple of Indian dishes that I like. Shout out Trader Joe's. They've got an unbelievable like frozen naan that you just pop into your oven at 400 degrees for like 2 minutes, and it's garlic naan, and it's great. But I made kind of like the flavors of Rogan Josh. There's a very good at my local grocer, kind of like a bottled simmer sauce. So it's not like I made homemade Indian, but that was where we ended up. So I had ground lamb and ground turkey.
Okay.
To kind of keep it reasonably healthy, but the ground lamb overpowers the flavor, which is great because all tastes like ground lamb. Brown that, then got it out, and then put in the pan. I had a big onion. I had some garlic. I had some chopped carrots, like one big carrot kind of quartered and chopped, and then like a whole head of cauliflower, obviously pieced up, some cauliflower, and then cooked that up. Then I threw in some like tomatoes. I had some cocktail tomatoes that I quartered up, threw those in there, got that all soft, threw the sauce in, threw the meat back in, and then a few, and then frozen peas on the top because you always got to have some peas in there. And then cooked it up, served it over a little basmati rice with the
Perfect.
It was so good, and I like spicy Indian food. My family does not, so it was. This is not a spicy one. But the flavor is spot on, delicious. I love Indian food.
Indian food is terrific.
What's your number one dish at an Indian restaurant?
It's either I'm pretty basic with it. I mean, it's either chicken tikka masala or butter chicken. I really like butter chicken.
So this is kind of like it's the sauce that ultimately goes on. I think in it calls it a tikka masala sauce. So that's where I'm a Rogan Josh guy. I'm a lamb Rogan Josh.
Okay.
Big Rogan Josh guy. I love a tandoori prawn as well. There was an Indian place that we used to go to in college in Atlanta, and they had something that was called puri shrimp, which was shrimp in this kind of like yellow curry with this big pillowy bread that looked like, remember those Jiffy Pops?
Yeah.
When you take that and you get that big, it looked like that. And oh man, that thing was so good. But that was the only time in my life that I've ever been to an establishment that was run by a husband and wife of an arranged marriage.
Oh, okay.
And it was made very known to us. We had frequented the place. That was the deal. Also felt like the missus in the marriage was not satisfied at all with the arranged marriage that took place. At all. Not 1%. So it was very sad to see that part of it. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, it was upsetting.
But the food was good.
Food was fantastic.
Well, there you go.
It was in like a strip mall.
Oh, dude, those are the best.
It was so good. So good.
There was one of those places in Kent. I don't remember what it was called, but it was next to a Strickland's ice cream. So you could go in, eat your Indian food, go next door, get some ice cream. And it was right next to our apartment complex, which was dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Like right next to our apartment complex in Kent, there was that, and then there was a Cane's, like 100 feet away. It was
so
perfect.
you had it all. So I remember the name of this place, and it's funny how you remember certain
Singh
things.
Biryani, that's what it was called.
Ours was called Panahar, but I only remember it because Joey would call it The Tailor of Panama was a movie, I guess, that had come out around that time when we were in college. And so he would call it he would call the guy who owned it the Tailor of Panahar. And so that's how I remember it. Anyway, I digress. Nonetheless, here we are. Reporting tomorrow, rookies and quarterbacks.
Yes, tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow's the day. Who's running that show tomorrow, Gibbe, as I chase glory?
Matt Fontana and I.
Fontana and Gibbe, I like that. Alphabetically, F goes right before G.
Can't say it doesn't.
You can. You'd be wrong. You'd be wrong.
You'd be making a fool of yourself.
You would be. One last thing on golf, real fast. Ryan Fox, I was talking to my buddy Baby Doll, and he told me he saw an interview with Fox about the putt on 18, and they're like, you always go fast, but it felt like you went really fast on that putt. And he's like, yeah, I did that on purpose. He goes, if I thought about it at all, I would have missed that putt. So he's like,
he's just like us.
He's like, I didn't want to think about it. I had to just go up there and hit it, and that's exactly what he did. All right, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns now. And this is from the Adam Schefter Show, which is his preview of the big stories headed into the Cleveland Browns training camp. Let's take a listen.
4 quarterbacks on the roster right now, Ty. 4. And there will not be 4 quarterbacks when the season starts. I don't believe. Maybe they could carry all 4, but right now they've got Deshaun Watson, who's going to be there. They've got Shedeur Sanders. They've got Dylan Gabriel. And they have rookie quarterback Talon Green. So there's 4 quarterbacks. And the headlines of that camp, without question, are going to be who wins the starting quarterback job. Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Are they going to keep the other 2 quarterbacks? Could they find a trade partner for Dylan Gabriel? And not only that, but no Myles Garrett for the first time in a long time. Jared Verse steps in, and Jared Verse is a great young player. I don't know if he's Myles Garrett. Nobody is, but Jared Verse is damn good on his own, and we'll see how he can help replace a Cleveland sporting legend.
And Myles Garrett, obviously, on the Cleveland Browns Mount Rushmore, will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer in the NFL. So it's interesting. He said there will not be 4 quarterbacks. Of the 4, he said only 1 will be there, and we know that that's Deshaun Watson contractually. I mean, I think Shedeur Sanders will be here. It's interesting. I think it looks to be kind of an obvious, who, and he mentioned Dylan Gabriel, maybe there will be a trade partner there. My guess is Talon Green is a project that they want to at least give a year to see how that mets out. So is there a trade opportunity there with Dylan Gabriel? I don't know. Or is there a trade opportunity with somebody else where somebody lights it up and a team says, hey, I want to get this guy here and make him my starter. In that case, I would not want to get rid of him. I can tell you that, whether that be Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel or Talon Green or anybody like that. I think that it is an interesting spot because you will not carry 4 quarterbacks on the 53.
Yeah, I think Talon Green is safe, obviously, because you mentioned he's a project that you want to work on. Not only is he so physically gifted, he's got all the tools, but I mean, he was one of the first draft picks that this coaching regime made. Like Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel, that was Kevin. This is Todd Monken, his staff, his scouts. They made that pick. I think he's safe for that reason. And then, yeah, you just don't know with all the other guys.
It's interesting. It feels like the quarterback competition is only between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. They feel like the top 2 quarterbacks. That's why I think it's kind of a natural thing, as you heard Schefter say, a trade partner for Dylan Gabriel. The question is, you have to have a team that is very interested in him, and I know there are certain teams that were interested. I know when the Browns drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, there was a team that called up the Browns and was very unhappy with them because they wanted to draft him. Now, that team has a new head coach, and so they could feel differently about it now. But if you're looking at this, you could also be one of the people that says, depending on where you are in the waiver claim priority, if you're looking at how things stack out and say, B. Rossi, let's go, baby, that you say, we'll play the waiting game. We'll call your bluff. He could be released, and then he would go right into the waiver claim order. Now, teams could say, all right, I don't want to mess around with that. Here's a 7th round pick. Now, he was a 3rd round pick. Dylan Gabriel, good touchdown interception ratio. I think this is a very important offseason for him, and I think that These preseason games are very important. We do not yet have a starting quarterback named. Todd Monken said he wants to see them play football. So are we going to be a team that maybe plays a little bit more in the preseason than we have in the past? And then on the other side of it, if we are a team that's thinking trade of this person or that person, you want to get them showcased. You also want to make sure Taylon Green gets reps. There's only 3 of those. And I think Taylon Green, has an opportunity to really make this preseason highly entertaining. He led the SEC in plays of 20 yards or more last year.
He was a highlight reel machine. He was awesome to watch.
Oh, I think he's going to be super fun to watch. Siciliano jumped out of his chair when we drafted him.
I think that was the pick he was most excited about.
For sure. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think that it is going to be that is the biggest storyline. Who's going to be the quarterback? If people everywhere, that's the only question I get asked. I was on with Mo Pedman this morning. It's the first thing they asked me right out of the gate. And we'll see. As I've maintained all along, I think it's a two-horse race. I think that Deshaun goes into this portion of the offseason with a little lead over Shedeur. And certainly not insurmountable. If it was, he'd be named the starter. So we've got a competition in our hands, and we'll see how that plays out. And that competition begins in earnest. I don't know how much we'll see on day one of training camp, but it begins really a week from today. You can make the case for quarterbacks that they've got quarterback and rookie-only practices starting on Friday, that it begins then. But I think you really need to see, again, as Todd said, we need to see him play a little bit of football.
Yeah, and pads, 11 on 11, stuff like that.
Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more pads in this. Gibbe, do we know that kind of stuff yet? It might not be for public, but do we possess?
It's not for public, but I can assure you, if you're coming to training camp, you are going to get your money's worth.
Can we get a solo Cameron Gibbe? This is Ernest Gibbe. His face is saying a lot right now.
We're going to do a lot at training camp. This is going to be a lot different than years past.
Yeah.
A lot different.
Yeah.
And you're going to get 2 hours.
You get 2 hours. I think you're going to get a lot more pads. I think you're going to get a lot more football.
Looking at the schedule that is not open to the public yet, yeah, we're going to be in pads a lot.
We're playing football here, folks.
That's right.
I have no problem with that. We're playing football. We're trying to get this team ready. We're trying to get this team ready for what is going to be probably the most uncomfortable opening slate of any team in the National Football League. In fact, there is no team, even those based in the state of Florida, who are playing their first 2 games in the state of Florida in September.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Only us. So we have probably the 2 most uncomfortable environmental games anybody is going to have to open the season. So we've got to get uncomfortable. We've got to get used to being too hot. We got to get used to be running around in our pads and sweating and the dehydration and all the things that come along with that. So we have those hydration plans in place. We get everybody their high quality H2O. And we got to be ready to play football. I got no problem with it. Now, it's a fine line because if everybody goes through that healthy, then you're saying this is great. We've never been more prepared. But if all of a sudden a team that, if you look certainly on the defensive side, the biggest question marks are not about the starters. It's about the depth. We need people healthy. That's the fine line to walk. But this is a young football team. This should be a very hungry football team. And I like that it's going to be a physical camp. It is going to be a demanding camp. You only get so many hours to get yourselves ready to play football. Use them.
Yeah, I think the end goal, and I think they've already done a really good job with this, but I think the end goal is to get this to be a team that emulates what their head coach is. He's a gritty guy, Todd Monken. It's going to be a gritty football team. It's going to be physical, it's going to be violent, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I know it's bad radio, young Gabriel, but I agree.
And I think our sophisticated football audience would appreciate
the
physicality and the intensity
of this training camp. I agree. I think it's going to be fun. Again, it starts a week from today. First training camp practice.
Yeah.
A week.
Open to the public a week from Friday.
First one for the public is a week from Friday.
The 31st.
First one open to the media is a week from today. Yeah.
Where's the time gone? It feels like just yesterday we were in Indianapolis at the Combine.
The Combine.
The Combine. That's what it feels like. All right. Well, we're not.
It's like a deer, but bigger.
An elk. What do we make of the Miami Heat YouTube page accidentally leaking the LeBron signing?
Did you see this?
I did, and it's scheduled for July 27th, which is next Monday, LeBron James introductory press conference. I did see this, and I'm going to tell you what I make of it. Absolutely nothing.
We're just grasping at straws, man.
Absolutely nothing.
I love it because everybody's like, LeBron's people have told everybody there's nothing else you need to do. Here comes Riley and company. Hey, we're just gonna make it. We're gonna make a little news out there.
And that might be what it is, like a little gamesmanship. But the reality of the situation, as somebody who has been on the team side of it, is that they've all got this. Any team, Golden State, it's down to those three, right? Has that been officially said, or it's just what it feels like?
It feels like it's Warriors, Cavs, Heat, Sixers.
Sixers
are in it.
Philly's a great city, great food town. We spent a lot of time there in the Stefanski era.
Boy, did we.
A lot of time. Last year, we were there for a few weeks. I aged a year in one night. I think a lot of us did. That might be the first Browns Daily that was ever done in the prone position.
That was a rough day.
That was a
real rough day.
Rough day. Man, yes, it was. So I don't make anything of this. For example, without naming names, there was a time when it was thought that the Browns were going to sign an all-pro, multiple-time Pro Bowler on the defensive line. And we did a full-on podcast reacting to him becoming a Cleveland Brown and everything that never saw the light of day. But so if like that had somehow been inadvertently posted, people would have thought for sure that it was a done deal. It wasn't. We were just being prepared. And I think that's what the teams do in these kind of situations. They just make sure that they're prepared with everything that they have. They probably have, if it's Miami or Cleveland, they've got welcome back LeBron videos already put together, ready to go. If it's the Sixers or the Warriors, they've got welcome to, LeBron videos ready to go. They have articles written. They've got all of it. Because we did that, and that player never came to the Browns, and that was it.
Spent an entire day waiting.
Yeah, and then cool. So it was a little bit of a podski. All right, it is a special Wednesday mailbag edition, so get your questions in on Twitter or X at Browns_Daily or on the YouTube chat, or you can now email your questions to brownsradio@clevelandbrowns.com. When we come back, Jake Trotter will join the program here. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, an official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Add more fun to your fandom with the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Download today and get $50 in bonus bets when you place your first wager of $10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Browns. We are efforting Jake Trotter. Some phone issues right now, but we will get there. Do you guys want to jump? Should we jump to what to watch, or should I just pontificate amongst myself, which I am capable of doing?
We can pontificate together if you'd like.
All right, let's ask. I'll ask this, and maybe Ciliano's listening because it's funny. So when he brought up the Tom Brady thing with the WWE, he was like upset. It felt to me that Tom Brady was belittling himself or beneath himself to go to the WWE. A lot of people have done it. Lawrence Taylor, many people consider him the greatest defensive player of all time. He's wrestled in the WWE. But as I kind of went, and you know how X works now. If you click on something, and I clicked on a couple Tom Brady, Logan Paul interactions, and then my For You page was basically all of it. What was that? You got Jake?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, all right. Well, we'll come back to that. Nonetheless, there are a lot of people that seem to be pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
It's
Like, mind your business.
it's fun. It's fun.
We'll see.
Have a
All
little
right,
fun.
we're going to the hotline right now. Great friend of our program, Jake Trotter, joining the show. And Jake, then I'll start with you with this. Are you upset that Tom Brady appears to be getting into the squared circle and wrestling in the WWE at some point in the future?
I mean, as long as he's slapping Logan Paul, I'm fine with it.
There you go. See? People are seem to be pretty mad that it's beneath him, and a great many celebrities and a great many NFL players or top athletes have done this.
I mean, as long as he's beating up on Logan Paul, I don't care. It's
All
fine
right.
with me.
That's your position. You're not a Logan Paul guy. He's
No,
taking pro
I
wrestling
appreciate
very well.
him as a heel.
Yes, he is a good heel.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. He's a pretty good hit. He's a good heel.
All right, Jake, let's talk about a team that needs to not be heels and needs to be big-time baby faces with lots of winning, and that is the Cleveland Browns. You are, of course, senior college football writer for ESPN. You've seen last year's draft class, took a lot of guys from college, boom, right in, a lot of success there. This year, we hope that happens again with the 2 first-rounders, Denzel Boston, 4 of the top 52, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Spencer Fano, Casey Concepcion, all of it. What do you kind of make? Let's just start with that rookie class and kind of what you've seen, what you've heard about how the offseason has gone for them, and what reasonable expectations maybe are there for this rookie class to kind of be part of an offensive turnaround here.
Yeah, Nathan, I'll start with the receivers. I'm excited most about the receivers. That's been a position that we've had some great players, but the depth of that room seems to be on the way up in a way that we just haven't seen in a long time. And I mean, I'm not at minicamp or OTAs like I used to be, but everything I've heard about Denzel Boston,
he's been
awesome. Is super exciting. He brings an element that they just have not had in a long time. Big physical receiver who can go up down the sidelines and catch the ball, big red zone threat. I think he has a chance to start from day one and be an impact player. They tried to get that player in Cedric Tillman, whether it was injuries, inconsistent play, just never really clicked. But I think they maybe have found it finally in Denzel Boston. And then you combine that with what Casey Concepcion is going to bring out of the slot and, in the return game as well, which has been, a position that we've been waiting for them to get an impact guy since what? Josh Cribbs, it feels like is the last guy that really was an impact return man. And then, listen, I mean, Jerry Jeudy's had a lot on his shoulders. He has, been asked to really carry that room. And at times it's worked out. Last year obviously wasn't great for him. But I think with more talent around him, you throw Harold Fannin in there at tight end, I think he has a chance to bounce back and have a good year. I don't know that, he's necessarily part of this young core or that he's going to be on the next great Browns team necessarily, but I think he could have a good year and really help. And then you take a step back, Nathan, and you look at the offensive skill talent around the quarterback, Quinshon Judkins at running back, Spencer Fano at left tackle. There's a lot to like there, whether, that quarterback is on the roster or is going to be in the 2027 draft. I think they've got a pretty good ecosystem with a really good, offensive-minded head coach to build on this going forward. And, man, we've had some anemic offensive performances these last couple of years. I think it's going to be better this year. And you combine all of that young skilled talent with what's going to be, I think, a functional offensive line. in a way that maybe it wasn't always the case last year, I think the offense is going to be better.
That's what I tell people. I say that the one thing I feel pretty confident about this year is that this team is going to be more fun to watch. And you hit the nail on the head, in my opinion, in that receiver room. And then you just look at this, the skill talent in general, right? It's Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson both in their second year. And Quinshon obviously had a very impressive rookie season, and now he'll get the benefit of an entire training camp and all of those things that he did not have as a rookie. Harold Fannin was one of the breakout stars at the tight end position in the National Football League, and he's going to continue. I loved what Isaiah Bond brought to the team last year, 18.3 yards a catch, the verticality, the speed, all of it. You add in Concepcion, you add in Boston, Judy back in a better space. And I just think we're going to be fun to watch on offense. And I think that's really going to be the key. And you mentioned it, quarterback. How do you kind of from the outside, in your capacity, how do you see this quarterback situation here for the Cleveland Browns? We know Adam Schefter said, they've got 4 quarterbacks on the roster. They're not going to have 4 going into the season, which makes sense. But how do you kind of see this quarterback room and right now this competition that still exists between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders to be the starter?
Yeah, I mean, for me, personally, I want to see a little bit more of Shedeur just to see what he can do because he's a young player on a rookie deal. Deshaun Watson is probably not part of the future here beyond this season, at least. And so I think this is what they've got to figure out. They got to figure out, okay, is our quarterback in the future on the roster or not? Because that's going to dictate a lot of what they do, in the draft next year. Because it's going to be an outstanding quarterback draft. I mean, everybody you talk to, a lot of these college football programs, they have their own scouting departments now because of the transfer portal. And you talk to some of these, quote unquote scouts or front offices in college football. And I mean, it's not just Arch Manning. It's Dante Moore. It's Lenoris Sellers. It's Drew Mestemaker from Oklahoma State. You just go down the list. And even with Sorsby, out of the mix right now and probably not going to be a projected first-round pick anymore or maybe even second-round pick. This is going to be a talented quarterback draft class. One of the, best 3 or 4 that we've probably had in a long time. I mean, you look at Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jane Daniels. That was a great draft class. There have been a couple others, but I think this has a chance to be right there. And you don't have to have the number 1 overall pick to necessarily get that guy in 2027, like the Raiders did this past year, and really the Titans the year before that. It's a much deeper quarterback draft class. So I think, number 1, you got to figure out, okay, is Shedeur that guy? If he's not, then you look to 2027. But the only way you're going to find out more about Shedeur is if he plays more. And so I think both guys are going to play, don't you? I mean, I don't know. It's not going to be a 1 quarter on, 1 quarter off, but I just kind of see a scenario in which both guys are going to play a decent amount, and we'll see what they got. It sounds like Deshaun is healthy, which will help. But again, like me personally, I want to see what Shedeur can do with better skill talent around him, with better offensive line play in front of him, and maybe he catches lightning in a bottle, and all of a sudden, you have that quarterback in the 2027 draft. You look to augment around him. That's probably a little bit of a long shot right now, but me personally, I want to see what he can do. And then you kind of build going forward off what you think he's going to be.
Yeah. And I think that from a Browns standpoint, you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, from a long-term solution, as I said yesterday on the show, Shedeur Sanders is that, right? Because he's under contract for the next 2 seasons on a 5th-round contract and all of that. Deshaun Watson playing well would be great, but it opens up some questions that Shedeur Sanders is playing well does not. That being said, I think whoever wins the starting job, I think you're probably right. We will see both quarterbacks this year, but it goes back to what I said last year, and I'll say it again this year. If whoever wins this job, the day 1 job, it's your job to make it so that you don't see another quarterback. And how do you do that? By playing well, taking care of the football, and most importantly, winning. And I think that's really kind of where we're at. Whoever gets that job has an opportunity to play all 17 games. You got to stay healthy, but then you also have to do everything needed to make sure that nobody wants to see the other quarterback.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be – because I do think they're waiting to see how these guys play in training camp with pads, with a little bit of pressure, which, you really can't replicate during the off season. And then we get into preseason games. And I think my sense, just knowing Todd a little bit, that they're going to play more in these preseason games than they have in the past. There's probably going to be a little more physicality in practice than what we've seen in the past. And that's going to give you a better look about, what these quarterbacks can do. But yeah, I mean, like, I do think that when you look at the rest of the supporting cast, you have an opportunity to play at a level that was probably almost impossible at times last year. So I'm interested to see what they look like. And you would know better than I, but it kind of feels like it's a real battle.
Yes.
Going into the fall.
Yes.
It's not a fake quarterback competition. Like, I think that they're waiting for one of these two guys to win the job.
I think you're exactly right. Talking with Jake Trotter, senior college football writer for ESPN. I think you're exactly right about that. It is very much a real quarterback competition, and I think that you want to get this solved and get your answer sooner rather than later, because it just helps everybody with the reps and getting people ready to play week one as we have to go open the season back-to-back games down in the state of Florida, which is kind of insane considering that even the teams that are housed in Florida, not a single one of them plays their first two games in the state of Florida, but I digress. All right, let's talk a little bit about...
It's going to be hot in Jacksonville.
Yes.
It's going to be hot in Tampa, hot in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think from an environmental standpoint, the Browns have the toughest opening two-game slate in the NFL. Now, there could be a weird heat wave somewhere that we're not prepared for, but I'm saying just on average, to open in Tampa and Jacksonville is as hard of an opening as you could have from a weather standpoint, and I think that's why this camp has got to be physical. I think that's why they're going to use a lot of the time. It's why they're going to be in pads a lot, because you're going to have to prepare for some of that, suffering in essence.
Do you remember that preseason Jacksonville game? This would have been 2022.
Yes, I remember going down for
game.
joint practices one year in Tampa, and it was obscenely hot.
I remember, so I had to do TV outside the stadium. I sweated out my shirt. Like, it got to the point where it looked like somebody dumped 5 buckets of water on me.
Yeah.
It was really hot, really humid. It's going to be the same way in Tampa. I think, wouldn't you feel good if they could just go 1-1, win one of those two games?
Of course.
Because I think the rest of the schedule is fairly manageable. And, the last time I did this, they still had Myles Garrett on the roster. So, it's a little bit different. He makes such a big impact, but you can, if you can just kind of survive a little bit early, there's some wins on the schedule to be had, regardless
no doubt
of who's playing quarterback.
No doubt. All right, let's talk about that then. Since last you have not been on this program since the Myles Garrett trade, where were you? What was your reaction? And now that the dust has settled a little bit and you've seen the full compensation and Jared Verse and the 1 and the 2 and the 3, what do you make of it all?
Yeah, I think I was covering the Women's College World Series. It was during one of those games, and the news came down, and my first thought was, oh, I'm glad I don't have to do 8 Sports Center hits about this tonight. So I like the trade for the Browns because Myles Garrett has been the best player in the NFL the last 2 years, regardless of position. Would you agree? Or at least, no doubt
Yes.
top 3
Yes.
player at the position.
100%.
And you won 5 games, you won 4 games. So, you're just as good as and dominant as Myles Garrett has been, and how big of an impact he makes on the rest of the defense and allows a lot of those guys to make a bigger impact than they probably would otherwise. You're just not going to win a lot of games until the offense gets better. And, the only way you're going to, get the offense better is if you get more picks and you make your own pick better. And I'm not saying they can't, be a surprise team this year, but you would think that as good as Jared Verse is and as good of a prospect as he is, the defense on paper is not going to be as good without Myles Garrett. Potentially that increases the value of your own pick in the 2027 draft to go get your quarterback. And I like the value they got in this trade. It just, they just were not going to win, at a high level, probably during Myles Garrett's prime, because this is a, considerable rebuild that's going to take more than 1 or 2 seasons. So I like the trade. I didn't think they were going to do it. I was surprised that they did it, but I like what they did. I like the value that they got. And, good for Miles. The Rams are going to be an absolute juggernaut next year. I'd be surprised if they weren't playing for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But for the Browns, I think it was the right move, and it stinks to trade a player like that away, but sometimes you just have to do it. Otherwise, you're gonna be mired in mediocrity. I mean, you got to kind of bottom out a little bit before you can build back up, and I think that's what the Browns are doing now, because every decision that they make has to be about the guys who were drafted last year or the guys that were drafted this year, and certainly the guys potentially that could be drafted next year. That's going to be the core of this team, and I think Andrew and his staff, they obviously hit a home run a year ago with that draft. I think they did the same thing with this draft. I loved everything they did. And, you're one successful swing at the quarterback position away from all of a sudden being a real force to be reckoned with. And trading Myles Garrett away, as painful as that was, I think it was a big step toward, moving forward and looking to the future of what this team could be.
You said something that I agree with, and that was this team has had the best defensive player in the league, the best non-quarterback in the league, and this team is not going to go from 5 wins to 11 wins. Unfortunately, because of the defense, they would make that kind of a leap because of the offense. Now, you need the defense to continue to do what it has done and still be a plus as it has been, but this team becoming a contender is going to happen with a revolution on the offensive side of the football. That's why Todd Monken was brought here. And quite frankly, that's what the league is. You need to be a very good offensive football team. Obviously, the Seahawks showed that a good defense helps. That's why they're the best, because they're very good on offense and very good on defense. But you have got to be a good, competent offensive football team to have a chance in the NFL today, and that's what it is all about. When you look at this defense, though, Myles Garrett's a change. Jim Schwartz is a change. Mike Rutenberg is in. What do you kind of make of this defense, and what are your kind of prospects for a defense that, showed signs last year, getting Tyson Campbell, who was phenomenal, 19 passes defense, now his first full season.
Tyson Campbell.
That turned out to be one of the great trades that's really kind of under the radar.
It was a great trade, Nate. I mean, when they made that trade, I instantly thought this has a chance to be a really good trade, because you're going to have to pay Greg Newsome. I'm not sure he was the best fit on this defense with what you already had. And, getting Tyson Campbell, kind of taking that Martin Emerson role that, never really panned out because of Emerson's, injury situation. I thought that was a terrific trade. So you tell me, how do you think they're going to play? How much, because you mentioned it. There's no Schwartz, there's no Garrett. So I think they kind of want to have the same mentality, but I don't know that they're going to be able to play the same way exactly, because, when you have to triple team Myles Garrett, that just opens up so much other stuff. And I don't know that they have the cornerback depth to stick in man all day long like they used to be able to. And I don't know if they're going to be able to get to the quarterback as quickly without Myles Garrett. So you tell me, how do you think they're going to play? Because they have some real strengths that they haven't had in the recent past, but they're also going to be missing a guy in Myles Garrett who just made that defense work so well and that style of play.
Yeah. I think that this, my concerns with the defense, I like the starting lineup a great deal. My concerns are more the depth. There's really not a linebacker behind Schlesinger and Quincy Williams, who's played much in the NFL. There's really not a corner behind Tyson Campbell. Now you got Damari Mathis, but it's been a long time. He played the majority of his snaps back in 2022, who has played a lot behind Campbell or Denzel Ward. And then I think it's really important on this defensive line that Mason Graham and Mike Hall, who are your first picks in the 2024 and 2025 draft respectively, that they become difference makers, especially Mason Graham, 5th overall pick.
Yeah, who I'm not worried about at all is Carson Schlesinger.
No, not at all.
He's going to be an absolute cog, an absolute stalwart for that defense for the next 10 years. And, they've had good linebackers, but man, I don't know when's the last time they had a guy like that right there. So I think that, kind of starts with him a little bit, making plays in the middle of the field. They're going to have to stay healthy at corner. But, McNeil Warren, it'll be interesting. How do you think they're going to use him? Because, there's some similarities to Delpit, but I think they can play off one another. I think they'll have some 3 safety looks too. I'm really interested to see how they use him, and I didn't get a great sense of it, coming out of the offseason. What do you think that what role do you think he's going to play, and how do you think he and Delpit can play off one another?
Yeah, I think that we are going to play a lot of three safety, and I think that when they look at sometimes maybe some of the lack of depth perhaps in that linebacker room, they're thinking of Delpit or Emmanuel McNeil-Warren getting in the box and being close to the line of scrimmage. I think they have confidence, obviously, in Ronnie Hickman, who can be one of the is the post safety, but I do think that they feel like they can rotate those guys. I think we might even play a little more too high in this scheme with Mike Rutenberg than perhaps we had played, last year. And so there are going to be a lot of variations with those safeties. But I think you're going to see a lot of Ronnie Hickman, Grant Delpit, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren on the field together.
And it kind of compensates for your issues that, your issues with quarterback depth and nickel depth.
For sure.
I would assume too.
For sure. And I think, I don't know how much big nickel will play. I think it's going to be more kind of that big dime package where it's 3-3 with Miles Hart in the slot. But you're right, in the event that you do suffer some injuries there, we are pretty thin at corner, and that's a way just to get your best players onto the field. And I think that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns are going to do.
Yeah, no, and we'll see, so linebacker, you're set. You would think defensive tackle. You've got your edge rusher and verse. Corner feels like it's a position maybe in transition a little bit based on what happens with Denzel Ward long term, but man, when he plays, he's still one of the best, and kind of same thing at safety as well. So I think they're going to have some decisions to make with some of the older guys. Okay, are we going to keep this guy with our young core coming up, or are we just going to build around our young core completely? I mean, I think they have some flexibility, to go a bunch of different ways there. It's crazy. So I covered the Browns. My last year covering the Browns was the Flacco year. Where they went to Houston. So that was 2023. Is that right?
Yep, 23.
I think other than Watson, no, there's probably a couple of guys I'm forgetting, but Denzel Ward is the only guy still in the locker room from that year. And
Delpit?
It shows you Delpit was Delpit hurt that year, or did he get hurt the year before?
No, he was hurt the year before.
The year before. So Delpit is another, but it just goes to show how much that locker room has turned over in just 3 years.
Oh, man.
There's probably only 4 or 5 players that are still in the locker room from that year.
We went through this not that long ago on Browns Daily, and it is basically a complete transformation of the roster. So I'm going to go through it right now because I'm looking at it. So from the 2023 team,
Hickman was there, Delpit was there, Ward was there,
Corey Bojorquez.
Okay,
Corey Bojorquez.
Was he? I guess he was there in 2023. Okay.
Delpit.
Yes.
Hickman.
Yes.
Denzel Ward. DeJuan Jones.
By the way, Hickman had just started to play at the end of that year. He was not.
Yep.
I think he started in that Houston game. Yep. DeJuan Jones. Yeah, he was another guy that got hurt that year.
DeJuan Jones. Isaiah McGuire.
Awesome kid. Yep.
Good kid. And then Cedric Tillman was in that draft class. Denzel Ward, Deshaun Watson, Alex Wright, Luke Whippler. But that's 10 guys, and that was everybody that had been on the team at any point in that season. 10 guys from 2023. That's not that long ago. And if you go back to, I think it's
3 years ago,
2022 when we traded for Deshaun, it's even less because DeWand, Whippler, McGuire, Hickman were all in that rookie class. So take them out. It's been an incredible turnover, and you're right. It's very much a team in transition, and it's kind of just Delpit and Ward on the defensive side that have been here, and on the offensive side, it's really been kind of Deshaun Watson. That's it. That's with this football team, but they're got a chance to go up.
This is another reason I like the Miles trade because I think as a Browns fan, the last couple of years, it's all right, are we trying to be good? Are we trying to make the playoff? Are we building for the future? I think it was. From the outside looking in, it was unclear what the direction is. I think this will be a fun year for Browns fans because even if they don't win, and obviously you want to win every game, especially in the NFL, but for a Browns fan, I think it's going to be enjoyable watching the development of the young guys.
Yep.
Win or lose, you can at least take that away. Okay, they played so-and-so competitive, but man, Casey Concepcion is really, busting out as an impact returner and, guy who can make plays, quick passes out of the slot. Oh boy, we've got a big time, physical wideout in Denzel Boston. Oh, look at the steps Mason Graham is taking. So I think it's just going to be more enjoyable to watch this team than it has been the last couple of years. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's just been the offense has been almost unwatchable the last couple of years, save a couple of moments that, Shador provided. It's just been really hard. And I think it's going to be a much more balanced team, even if the defense is not as good. And I think there's going to be, real takeaways even in losses this year, which, you can put down as future pillars of the program.
Yeah, certainly, and that's all you could ask for. That's all you can hope is that we will be that on offense, and that it will be a lot of fun. Jake, you're always a lot of fun. We certainly appreciate the time and hopping on with us here today, and hopefully I'll see you around soon.
You'll see me soon. See you, Nathan.
All right. Jake Trotter right there, senior college football writer for ESPN on the hotline. That'll do it for hour number 1 here on the program. Hour number 2 coming up. We got some tight ends. We've got some things to watch, and we have got some mailbag, and we've got Andrew Siciliano with Denzel Boston from the best podcast available. So a lot to get to here on Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Cleveland Browns Daily, hour number 2, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly, and you can be a part of the most passionate fan base in the NFL by becoming a season ticket member today. Join us at Huntington Bank Field for all home games this year. Visit browns.com/tickets right now. All right, we've been doing this series on the ESPN, talking to the execs, where they rank the top 10 tight ends in 2026. It's execs, coaches, and scouts. How it works, voters gave their own top 10 at a position. Then we compile the results, rank the candidates based on the number of top 10 votes, composite average, dozens of interviews with research and film study from Matt Bowen, as well as ESPN research. More than 70 voters submitted a ballot on at least one position, in many cases all position. Additional voting and follow-up calls with those surveyed contributed to placements. This was not a 5-year projection or a career achievement award, but meant to answer a simple question: who are the best players right now? We are starting at the tight end position today. And my first goal, and I have not seen this list, is to try to figure out the top 10 tight ends on this list in the National Football League.
Correct.
All right. So here is where I am going to start, and I'm just going to kind of go through tight ends that I think are going to be on this list, and then we'll try to get the order right. And then the goal is to try to see if I can get 10 for 10 on just getting them on the list, and then we'll go and we'll try to place them on the list accurately. Okay. Travis Kelce.
Still scrolling. Hang on.
Travis Kelce's got to be on the list. I mean, come on.
Travis Kelce is on the list.
Okay. Travis Kelce is on the list. Trey McBride is on the list.
On the list.
Brock Bowers is on the list.
Is on the list.
Kyle Pitts is on the list.
Yes.
Tyler Warren
Yes.
is on the list. I think Colston Loveland is going to be on the list.
Yes.
I think Harold Fannin is going to be on the list.
He's not in the top 10.
Is he an honorable mention?
He is an honorable mention.
Okay. All right. By the way, that is Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Harold Fannin, all rookies.
Yep. On Harold Fannin Jr., quote, his arrow is up. He's a chess piece that can maneuver in space. He should be a 100-catch guy. That is from an NFC executive.
Okay. Kittle.
On the list, yes.
There were some guys that were injured last year, like a Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft did make this list, yes.
Okay. So I'm at 8. Sam Laporta.
Yes.
All right, that's 9. Harold Fannin should be on the list. Now it's kind of, we're like digging real deep now in terms of people that could be on here. So I'm going to give, I'm just going to start naming some people that I have in a certain similar area. So I'm going to have, TJ Hawkinson. I'm going to have Dalton Schultz. I'm going to have Hunter Henry. I'm going to have Jawan Johnson. I'm going to have Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, A.J. Barner, and Jake Ferguson. Those are going to be my honorable mentions, and I would imagine that one of them is the 10th person.
No.
Wow.
And I can tell you, only one of those guys you just named is an honorable mention.
Okay, all right. Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews is your 10th on the list.
Yeah, he was injured last year. Okay, so we got all 10. Fannin's an honorable mention. Is A.J. Barner an honorable mention?
Not even on the list.
Is Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert receiving votes.
Receiving votes, okay. Hunter Henry.
Receiving votes.
T.J. Hawkinson.
Receiving votes.
Dalton Schultz.
Receiving votes.
Jawan Johnson.
Receiving votes.
So Zach Ertz.
Not on the list at all.
Then Jake Ferguson.
Honorable mention, Jake Ferguson.
Are there more honorable mentions that I have not listed?
Yes.
Okay. How many?
4.
Four
Sorry, three.
more?
Three.
Dalton Kincaid?
Dalton Kincaid, a very gifted athlete. He hasn't put it all together yet, but that's partly due to injury. He absolutely can. I expect him to.
Okay.
The top honorable mention, Buffalo Bills tight end, Dalton Kincaid.
Okay. The kid in Jacksonville that they just gave the contract to, Brenton Strange.
Brenton Strange was in the receiving votes category.
Okay.
Of the guys in the receiving votes category, you're only missing 2 of those as well.
Isaiah Likely?
He's in receiving votes.
Njoku?
No Njoku.
Darnell Washington?
No.
Nothing.
Nope.
I thought maybe kind of like because of what he is kind of a little bit of an outlier. He was gonna get in there. Cade Otton?
Nope.
Chiga Kwankwo?
Nope.
Aronde Gadsden?
Is your last receiving votes.
Okay.
So two more of the honorable mention guys were missing.
And I haven't said their names at all.
Nope. I will tell you, you have said a guy that plays for the same team as one of these guys. Pat Fryermuth is on here. He doesn't
They
belong
don't
in the
even
top
use
tier, but
him
he's a playmaker.
anymore.
That's what they say. And then the other guy is someone who had a teammate on this list.
A teammate in the top 10?
Correct.
Is he still that person's teammate?
He is.
Cole Kmet?
Cole Kmet, the Chicago Bears.
That is very interesting. And nobody made it from the Rams.
Nope.
I thought maybe it was going to be like Charlie Kohler. They were going to say he's like the best blocking tight end, so he was going to make it.
Yeah, Charlie Kohler not on this list.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go 1 to 10.
Let's do it.
Can we do it that way?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to say number 1 is Trey McBride.
You want me to tell you as we go?
I'm going to say number 2 is Brock Bowers. I'm going to say number 3 is going to be George Kittle. 4 is going to be Kelsey. 5 is going to be Tucker Kraft. 6 is going to be Kyle Pitts. 7, Tyler Warren. 8 is going to be Mark Andrews on reputation. 9, Laporta. And 10, Colston Loveland.
All right, here we go.
Number 1.
Number 1. Las Vegas Raiders tight end Brock Bowers checks in at number 1.
All right, and I had him 2. Is McBride 2?
Trey McBride, number 2, the
All
Arizona
right.
Cardinals.
So I had directionally correct. Number 3, I have Kittle.
George Kittle, number 3.
Number 4, I have Kelsey.
Number 4 is Sam Laporta.
Ooh, so I was way low on him. Hasn't he been banged up?
He has. Despite Laporta's low production due to injury, evaluators did not see a drop-off in his play. He appeared in 9 games and produced a career-low 40 catches for 489 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay, number 5, I have Tucker Kraft.
Number 5 is Tyler Warren.
Oh, I had 7. Okay. Man, they're dissing Kelsey. Big time. 6, I had Kyle Pitts.
Number 6 is Tucker Kraft.
Okay, so I was close on him. Laporta's really the only one I've been way off on. 7, I had Warren.
Number 7 is Colston Loveland.
Loveland. Travis Kelce. The disrespect is outrageous right now for Travis Kelce. All right, number 8, I had Andrews.
Number 8 is Kyle Pitts.
Number 9, I had Laporta.
Number 9 is Mark Andrews.
They have Kelce 10th on this list. That's blasphemy.
Number 10, Travis Kelce. Kelsey is far from a burner at age 36, but it's hard to argue with his production last season. His 429 yards after the catch ranked third among this year's tight end candidate pool. Kelsey was in much better shape than the previous year, and it showed, though 9 drops were not ideal. He's the ageless wonder at the position, an NFC personnel evaluator said. His elite route-savvy body control and instincts allow him to still compete at a high level despite him getting up in age.
That's crazy, man.
There were people who submitted ballots that did not have Travis Kelce in their ballot.
That's just hate. That's haters.
And the highest anyone ranked him was 5.
That is hard for me to get my head around.
There you go.
Wow. Wow. Wowie, wowie, wow, wow.
The league has lost interest in Travis Kelce.
So I'm curious. See, so they had Bowers number 1. The All-Pros last year were AP first team All-Pro was McBride. Second team was Pitts. And McBride is ranked first and Pitts 6th. I mean, McBride's second and Pitts is 6th.
Feels like a lot of weight went on Brock Bowers' rookie year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think I'd take McBride too. He's a machine.
A machine. He is an absolute unit and machine. That is the truth. All right, so those are the top 10 tight ends in the league. Harold Fannin, where did he rank in the honorable mentions?
He was the 4th honorable mention.
Not for long, folks.
They're sleeping on him.
Sleeping on Fannin. Gibbe's not going to like the disrespect his alma maters are seeing. It was like when Siciliano was taking shots at Bowling Green yesterday.
I know. They're not from power institutions.
Yeah. Can you believe it that he'd say that? Can
No.
you believe it?
I can't. Can you believe that?
Can
I
you
can't
believe that? All right. When we come back, we're going to get into the mailbag and give you a little bit of what's going on, what to watch. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's time now for What to Watch, presented by Streamline. What's on deck for the week on television? Streamline, making streaming easy for sports fans. Head to streamline.watch to check it out. Get their app. Look at the logo right there. It's a beautiful logo. Get that app. Download it. It makes your life easier. It's going to also help you save money. It's going to tell you where everything that you want to watch is, what you need to do to get it, and how to do it in the most economical way for you. It is an invaluable app. I use it all the time. So, yes, please check that out. All right. For the Guardians this week, a lot of games throughout the week on Guardians.tv and on Peacock on Sunday at 12:15 versus the Tampa Bay Rays. The PGA, it's the 3M Open Thursday to Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus. And then here we go, House of Dragons, season 3, episode 6 this Sunday, 9 p.m. on HBO Max. That show is on fire right now. It is. The last few episodes have been electric.
I'm not Bo. I can't talk about it with you. I apologize.
That's okay.
But
you're a young Gabriel and a great man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out, though. 'Cause this is pre-Game of Thrones, yes?
It is pre-Game of Thrones,
Okay.
yes. Significantly so.
I'm going to tap in then.
Tap in.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you ready for some mailbag?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to start from Slater on the email. Great Z. What would you recommend to a shaky 13 handicap golfer that just wants to get better? Specifically, what is your recommendation for finding a pro to get lessons with? I sadly live in Southwest Ohio and keep second-guessing where I should go to find an instructor that isn't going to attempt to completely reshape my swing, or is that the move? You tell me, you're the man. And he signs off with, I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I love it with the question mark. All right, 13 handicap. Just get better from 150 yards and in. So short game, short approach shots, chipping, putting, that's where you score. You get better and you become a very good chipper, somebody who gets up and down half the time. You become somebody who is hitting the green consistently when you're inside, in the fairway or in the rough from inside of 150 yards, your score is just going to go down. That's where you score. Obviously, you want to be in play off the tee. So if you're somebody who's a 13 because you're hitting multiple balls OB, you've got to rein that in. But the scoring in this game happens from inside of 150 yards. That's where I would say. In terms of the pro, obviously, if you're at a club, hopefully your club has a good pro. If not, I would inquire around, find somebody who is a PGA professional, and find somebody who they think works. Now, they should be the ones that tell you if you need a complete revamp, but my guess is, muscle memory is so deep, there's going to be some type of a tweak there. But, that's what I would be looking for. Someplace that can get you not only where you can hit the ball in the air. I think that's very important to see it as opposed to just hitting it, into a screen, but also can get you all that good TrackMan data, and that can really kind of help you understand, the impact of certain things in your swing on the ball flight.
There you go, Slater. Hope that helps. Over to Twitter or the X platform. Trey Carey asks, what is your dream World Cup final match and what stadium would be best? I'm wrestling with an answer for this one.
I would probably say dream final would be USA and Croatia. We haven't seen USA there, and I would have my homeland of Croatia. In what stadium? Is the Bernabeu the greatest soccer stadium on the planet?
Probably, yeah. It's probably the most advanced.
Now, if you're saying just for environment, it would be like Mexico against anybody in a World Cup final in Stadia as the Azteca.
That place is a palace.
Yeah.
So I would say it's the U.S., and I don't know who the opponent would be because, I don't want to say England because I kind of like England. They have a lot of Arsenal players. And I'd pick Seattle just because soccer culture is so deeply ingrained there. I'd say at Lumen Field. Just the way that stadium's built, too. The sound is just on top of you. Yeah. The Sounders were one of the founding clubs of Major League Soccer. The culture is there. I think that would just be awesome. And I think, you saw the hype for the World Cup here this year when we were winning. I think it would be super, super cool just to experience that.
Yeah, I agree. States. I know it's bad radio, young Gabriel, but I agree.
I would say France, just to prove we're among the best of the best. Okay. Browns backers North Jersey asks, what's your favorite flavor lollipop?
That's an odd one. When I was a kid, as a child, as a young man, I enjoyed a purple Tootsie Roll Pop, and I enjoyed a watermelon blow pop.
The root beer Dum Dums. Fire.
Nothing for me. That is less than 0 for me.
Fire. Okay, real quick, Bobby time.
Hey, Bobby!
If you could erase one NFL rule forever, which one disappears and what glorious chaos replaces it? For me, it's got to be the ball out of the back of the end zone being a touchback. Stupid rule.
Great one. Yes, if you fumble it out of the ends, if you fumble it and it goes through the end zone and out, like, for example, when Hollywood Higgins got hit, we should just get the ball right there where the ball stopped.
Yep.
That's it. That is a horrible rule. I think another horrible rule is if you catch the ball falling out of bounds on top of your feet in your toes, that's a catch. But if you catch the ball in the back of the end zone facing the field of play with both toes down, the bottoms of your feet in the end zone, and then your heels touch out of bounds, somehow that's out of bounds. No, I have possession. I'm in the end zone. That's the end of it. That's a touchdown. If the tip of the ball breaking the plane for 1 millisecond is a touchdown, how's that not a touchdown? Idiotic. And I'd also get rid of dumb, like, I know you can't get rid of this, but for example, if there is like on a 3rd and 17 and there's a defensive hold that has nothing to do with the play at all and it's an automatic first down, like some of these things can't be automatic first downs. But you can't have teams then blatantly holding on 3rd and 17 just to give up 5 yards. So that's a tough one. And then the other would be like roughing the passer needs to be not a judgment call. It needs to be just clearly defined because those 15-yard penalties are such massive game-changing penalties that they got to get it right. And too often they're ridiculous. Like falling on somebody, you're tackling them. It's football. Like, what do you mean?
I know it's bad radio.
But you agree. Of course, it's ridiculous.
You can permanently ban one sound from existence. Which sound disappears forever, and what unexpected chaos follows?
Gibbe knows what sound I would want to disappear forever. I don't think I can say it on the radio.
You're right. You may not.
A mysterious billionaire offers you $50 million, but once a month you must publicly explain, with charts and statistics, why soup is actually a type of sport.
Fine, I love soup.
Deal?
Do I take the deal? I take the deal, and all of a sudden, soup's going to be in the Olympics.
2 more quick ones. If you could have
How does
any
he even think of
superpower,
that?
what would it be and why?
If I could what?
If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
The ability to transport myself and my loved ones anywhere in the world in the blink of an eye. So forget private travel. This is called instant travel. Like, we want to go to Florence. Boom, we're in Florence.
Perfect. When will you make your return to AIW?
I've thought about it. It's got to be the right opportunity with the right people, but it is definitely in the back of my mind. If he's talking about to the ring commentary, I'm sure I'll do in the winter once the season's over, but for in the ring, I want to do one more, I think.
That's the mailbag.
That is the mailbag. Andrew Siciliano with Denzel Boston coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, an official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Time now to hear from the guy who many people thought was the most exciting young player in the early portion of the offseason. That's Browns wide receiver, second-round pick Denzel Boston. He caught up with the play-by-play voice and orange jacket, Andrew Siciliano, from the best podcast available. Take a listen.
This week on the best podcast available, none other than the man who's turning heads not only on the field but like on social as well when all these clips are getting out there. It's Denzel Boston, rookie wide receiver of your Cleveland Browns. And fresh off the practice field, Denzel, we're recording this Wednesday after OTAs. How'd it go out there today?
Today it went good. I feel like, the offense was really coming together today. We were meshing real well, making plays all over the place. So today was a great day.
I would have to imagine, and I know you've spoken about the learning curve and the playbook and all this, but I would have to imagine each day gets a little better. Compare today's practice, for example, with day one of rookie minicamp, Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, so, coming in, the comparison is it is getting easier. We're repeating plays, just running out of different formations with different movements. But for sure, coming in that first day, it was big eyes, not understanding anything going on. But, now it's kind of you kind of get in the routine you kind of find your routine of how to study, how to get that stuff down. And then, again, it's we're starting to repeat plays now a little more and get the philosophies down.
Travis Schweitzer, the OC, mentioned that as well today on the podium about you picking up the playbook. You mentioned about learning how to study. Mm-hmm. How do you study? Compare this to college.
Yeah, so for me, the college playbook for some reason came really easy to me, but when I got here, there's a lot more to it. I think I said sophisticated in my last interview. I'm gonna say sophisticated this time.
Okay. Wait a minute. Let's explain. You were an NFL Network Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
And some people noticed you said the playbook was confiscated?
Yeah, I said confiscated.
We get tongue-tied? It happens?
It happens, complex and sophisticated together. Okay. But I'm going to say sophisticated now.
Did you realize in the moment you said it?
No, I didn't. I didn't at all.
So someone pointed it out to you?
Yeah, someone did. I think my dad texted me. He was like, confiscated. I was like, yeah, I guess so. And then I went and looked it up. I was like, is that a real word? And I was like, that's not a real word. Made one up, but...
Hey, can we make it a word?
Right? Hey, just make it one.
Okay.
Be good.
Yeah.
Add it to the dictionary.
The playbook is confiscated. But they're putting you in motion a lot. They're putting a lot on your plate. The whole thing was, he's the big body guy. He could be your red zone guy. He's your jump ball catch radius guy. No, you're more than that. And I think all the work that they've given you in these first couple of weeks here shows that, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. They're having me do a lot of different things, a lot of different routes. So I think that's kind of a testament of, what I can do. And, I'm just trying to, like Coach was saying, pick up all the playbook and, just make sure I'm executing that at the highest level that I can.
What's the competition been like with the vets now that they're there?
Oh, it's been great. Every day we're building off each other. I'm learning from them, and I don't know if they're learning from me necessarily, but I try to just show up every day and just put my best foot forward. It's been good though. They've taken me in greatly like a brother, so I'm greatly appreciated for it.
Have you had that? Listen, I know it's only OTAs. Have you had your welcome to the NFL moment yet? Like a wow, kind of this is cool moment?
Just sometimes, just being on the field, I see Deshaun Watson over there at quarterback. I'm like, okay, I'm in the NFL. Or, I'm just walking around the locker room, I'm seeing Delpit today. I seen Delpit today. I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Seeing Judy around, when I see those guys, that's welcome to the NFL. Now on the field, that I'm sure it's coming.
All right. What's Monk like? Other than a yeller, you can't say he yells a lot, but tell me something else about him.
Coach Monken, I'll say, he, okay, well, obviously I can't state that one. So, he's a super high energy. But Coach knows how to joke. Coach is going to throw jokes out there. He's going to lighten the mood when he's going to get on us, but then he's going to throw a joke. He's going to make it funny, So, I'll say just Coach Monken, he's really funny, takes his job very seriously, but also knows how to be a great leader and I feel like, capture a team and how they feel,
And I know you've gotten a feel of the city so far. Let's talk a little bit off the field, Denzel. You mentioned, again, on that NFL Network interview with my friends Ian and Judy, that you and a couple of guys went to Cedar Point. Did someone say, hey, like how that whole thing came about? You guys just want to go ride roller coasters?
Yeah, so we were just looking for something to do over the weekend.
Who's we?
It was me, KC, and then Cole.
Okay.
So some of the receivers, and so we all went. It was mainly KC's idea. He was like, "Hey, we should get out. We should probably clear our mind a little bit over this 4-day weekend,
like it,
and then get back to the playbook when we get back." So we went out there to Cedar Point. He found Cedar Point. Was like, "Hey, let's go out here. They got supposedly some of the best roller coasters in the U.S.
Heck yeah!
Go get a little thrill, a little adrenaline." And yeah, just, do something that's outside of football and kind of explore a little bit.
What was your favorite?
Definitely Steel Vengeance. That thing is a thrill.
So are you a roller coaster guy?
I love
Clearly.
it. I like roller coasters a lot. Like, I'm a big adrenaline person. I like anything that gives me adrenaline. So, yeah, going like on the Steel Vengeance, like that was a crazy one. But I'll say I like roller coasters as a whole. It just got to be fast and has to have a lot of like drops and spins and all that type of stuff.
Dude, how many did you do?
I think so. We went on Steel Vengeance twice. We went on another one twice, and then I probably went on about 6 total. 6 total.
All right. So my niece, again, let's talk age here. My niece is probably not that much younger than you. She came to visit me last summer, and she goes, "Hey, can we go to Six Flags? I'm in California."
Mm-hmm.
And I went, "Sure." So she ended up going on like 15 different rides.
Oh, wow.
And like by the end of the day, I think I went on 8 or 9. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Like, your old uncle's going to sit here and you can keep doing it. And she kept like going and going and going and going. You don't get sick of like that pit in your stomach?
No, I like it. I think it's just like, woo, I'm alive kind of feeling.
I get it, like the first couple of times, and then you're like, all right, I'm good.
Like once you get
maybe
that
I'm
initial,
just old.
Nah.
Yeah, maybe that. All right. You were also in LA for the rookie premiere. How cool was that?
It was cool. It was a good time, especially like seeing all the guys that kind of came in with you, I guess, in one big draft class, just getting to hang out with them, have camaraderie with them. And also the little events that they do for us was really fun. Signed like 10,000, 12,000 items, though. That was draining. That was draining. But besides
that's
that,
exhausting.
Yeah, exhausting.
Exhausting signing your autograph.
Yeah. We got to talk to Tom Brady, and he is the most intense person I've ever talked to or listened to speak. Like, it was super intense.
Okay, was this a one-on-one or he was up on stage?
He was so we were like in like a Socratic seminar. That's what they used to call it in high school. And it's like everyone's in a circle around the table, and he was just at the front. Him, Michael Rubin, and Travis Scott. And they were kind of just putting game on us, but Tom was extremely intense with the way he was talking, the way that he was just discussing his career and like how he kind of does everything and how he did do everything.
What'd he say? Like, what made it so intense?
I wouldn't say it's what he was saying. I'd say it's more the way he was saying it. It was more just talking about all the drive that he had to have to get to where he was, his love for the game and how he became he won 7, right? It was 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
How he won 7 Super Bowls and just talking about all that stuff. And then people had other questions and stuff like that they were asking him, like, how do you feel about certain things and how do I approach this? And just the way he was like very directive, very just, just very, very, very directive on what he was talking about and then an intense kind of mood. Like, it was like you're watching a video and, like people are like making like a little edit and it makes it super intense, but it was like real life, if that makes sense.
What was the one message or the one lesson that you took from it?
I just love his story of how, he had to work when he was at Michigan. So when he was talking about his story of how he had to work through Michigan, he gets to the Patriots. He has to work his way up at the Patriots as well. Just listening to the way he was speaking about that, I feel like in a way I kind of connect in that way just from, being underlooked when I was younger and through college, having to sit 2 years and, you know what I mean? So just his story is very inspiring to me.
Okay, on that note, you know who Maurice Jones-Drew is?
It's
Former NFL running champion, Pro Bowl running back. He's now on NFL Network. Does
did he
Rams
play for
games. Buddy of mine.
Jacksonville?
He played for Jacksonville, right? Drafted
Yep.
by the Jaguars, and there's the story. Out of UCLA, he got drafted in the second round. Okay, and he later went on to run for 9,000 yards and win a rushing championship. And the guy's awesome. But to this day, he's still angry that he went in the second round.
Yeah.
And he's carried that chip on his shoulder. Do you have that?
Oh, I have that chip 100%. You know, coach asked me when he called me for draft. You know what I mean? You know, how do you feel? Angry. But I'm eager to get to work. I'm eager to learn. I'm eager to get better, and I'm eager to go work. You know, so it's a chip I'm always gonna have. You know, and that's just something that's not gonna leave anytime soon. Like I'm gonna be probably thinking about that when I'm 50, 60 years old. You know, so that's just what it is.
Well, he's like 40 years old, or 40, whatever. He's probably going to get mad if I say he's 40. I don't remember how old he is, but I think he's 40. Yeah, he still gets angry about it today, and now his kid's going to go to UCLA and, and follow in his footsteps. Denzel, carry that chip on the shoulder. It's going to make Browns fans love you even more than they already do. We appreciate your time, man. See you when I am back there for mandatory minicamp in a couple of weeks, man. Thanks for doing this.
All right, cool. Yeah, thank you. I'll see you then.
Can't wait to see Boston on the field and really everybody, because guess what, folks? Tomorrow, the quarterbacks, the rookies, they report here to the Cross Country Mortgage Campus in Berea to get the 2026 Cleveland Browns training camp underway. Tomorrow, Jason Gibbs, Matt Fontana will steward you through Cleveland Browns Daily. Here we go. It's go time, folks. As always, big thanks to Jake Trotter for joining us on the program. For young Gabriel, for Dr. J, for the great Gibby, I am Nathan Segura saying thanks for listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
You've been listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, a production of the Cleveland Browns and 850 ESPN Cleveland.